Well, hi there. It's a Sunday night, 9:52 p.m. It's a recap of the day. I did not do a full day of algorithms. I was out playing some hockey today, doing other things for the majority of the day. However, I did do NBA and I did NHL. And we're going to review both of those right now. And we're going to step into a live betting situation because I want to discuss the betting both sides strategy. So let me talk about a game that's going on right now in the fourth quarter. And we're probably going to get an answer before the end of this video how this game goes. Algorithm has Minnesota beating Golden State and Golden State really injured, and that's kind of why. Or well, that's not why. Apparently they would have won the game anyway. But the algorithm really liked Minnesota here, and they were an underdog line. So I thought about betting them at an underdog line early, and I didn't because I was watching the game. Now let's take a look at the game's live lines right now. The score is 99-99 with 3 minutes left. Notice that Minnesota's line is plus 132 and Golden State is minus 170. I noticed throughout this game that the odds makers really wanted to have, or basically there was bad lines for Golden State all game long, even when they were down. Like the odds makers really wanted Golden State to win this game favorite wise. And there's so much money on them that I thought, okay, well, we have Minnesota winning this game. So really, this is a game where there's apparently going to be lead changes because something about the way that the algorithm and the odds makers are disagreeing makes me think this is going to be a close game. So I got Golden State at plus 170. I'm looking on my phone right now. I have them at plus 172 right now. Right? So that means I get 0.72 units if they win, and I turn around and make a bet on Minnesota right now because Minnesota is a positive line right now. Now, what's interesting about why I chose to take Golden State when they were down, even though the algorithm said no, is because there was so much money that was looking at Golden State and wanting to be on Golden State that I figured if they're going to jump to positive lines, and at a really reasonable positive line, like a plus 170, not minus 170 as it shows right now. They were plus 170 when I bet them at like halftime or something, or close to halftime. They the second half. I think early in the second half I got the plus 176. Well, I knew that if they could come back at all, the line is drastically going to shift in favor of them and go down, and Minnesota is gonna keep exploding. So I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch this game. And now technically, if you're a conservative gambler, if that term is not an oxymoron, if you're a conservative gambler, I should just bet my whatever, say I bet 100 on Golden State, I should bet 100 on Minnesota right now. Because if I do that, I dare, oh my goodness, now I should bet on Minnesota. See that plus 255? We're doing that right now. I am logging in on my phone. See how that just shifted from 130 to 255 on a three-pointer? Well, we're betting them right now. And I'm betting them. Oh, they're now 420. I think I might get the 420. Ha, ha, ha. I just got the 420. So look at that insane line change in the matter of a minute, right? Now that is what you call insanity. I mean, if you think about an entire game and the way that we wager, if you were able to get Minnesota at plus 420 at some point before the game, you'd be like, oh, I don't care if they're not even supposed to win. Like, I'll take that. So what happens there, and I did get that in just barely before it closed because I was paying attention. Now here's the fun part. I have Golden State at 172. I have Minnesota at 420. Now I'll tell you, I put $50 on each of them. I didn't put 100. I'm not a big high roller yet. I put $50 on each of them. So that means that if Golden State wins, which it looks like they're going to win now up 6, right? I get $136 back. I wagered 50 on Golden State. I wagered 50 on Minnesota. That's 100. So I make 36 bucks. I guarantee myself 30 bucks. Now, what if the impossible happens and Minnesota comes back 6 points in the last 2 minutes? Do you know what I get then? I get $260 because I just got them at plus 420. 260 minus 100 wagered is $160 profit. That would be incredible, but here's the fun of it. It doesn't matter who wins, right? We win anyway. But if Minnesota comes back to do something crazy, we win huge. Which is why, if you caught me in the last few videos, I've said things like, oh, if there was a crazy lead change at the end of the game, I probably just won a ton of money. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the team that's an underdog when you make that bet late, because I knew that they were going to drastically go down. Like, the money was really pointing toward Golden State all game. So any sign they might win is going to cause Minnesota's odds to skyrocket up. That's the way that FanDuel's algorithm and really all algorithms work when it comes to odds making, because there was all this money on Golden State to begin with. So they're desperate for people to bet on Minnesota at the end of this game to try to help even them out. That's what that's about. So when you pay attention to games and understand where the money is, even if we don't win with Minnesota here, which we probably won't, you're going to win once in a while on this game. And we're already guaranteed ourselves 30 something dollars, right? $36, $34. We're already getting $36 profit regardless, betting 100. That's 36% on one game. It's not risk-free because we had to have this occur where Golden State came back to take the lead late, or at least later in the game. We had to guess that would probably happen and catch them on a run. But that's the way these games work, is they're nothing but runs back and forth most of the time. So if there's a chance, and it happens all throughout the game, even if they don't win, we win. So that's the betting both sides strategy, and that's a great example. We'll check back in on that game after we do some work here. Let's go over to hockey. Just talk about hockey. 5-2 day. I won money betting on hockey today. I did it kind of without the algorithm, just off the top of my head, but it worked out the same. Although I did bet on Washington because I'm a Caps fan. Didn't bet on them yesterday when they beat the Rangers. Bet on them today when they got blown out by Buffalo. Algorithm knew it. I had Minnesota in a comeback roll. Got them at plus 196 when they were down 2-0. Yay. Nice job. Good job, Minnesota. I had the Islanders, an underdog going to win. Never had to bet the other side at all. They crushed it. Good job for the Islanders. I had the over in this game because I saw a lot of goals over 5.5. It got to 7. Won that. I had Tampa Bay. What the hell, Tampa Bay? Hey, what the hell? Is this Brian Elliott's problem? Is that what happens when you take Vasilevsky out of there? Pittsburgh at one point scored like a field goal, 2 field goals, I think, in the last 10 minutes of the second period. I think they put up 6 goals in the last 10 minutes of the second period. Like, what happened? Did they pull their goalie in the second period? Forget it was the second? Or was he already pulled to begin with? Don't know. Nashville beats a bad Arizona because they're a bad Arizona. Algorithm pretty much had that. And Toronto 5-1. Look at that. Look at that exact score. Power projected score, sort of. Not exact score here, but pretty close. No problem with Toronto. So the NHL algorithm did pretty well today, and I won on every game except for Tampa Bay. And that cost me a good money on a round robin, but I still won money on that round robin, hitting the other 4 picks. So now let's go back over to NBA real quick, because there are some games going on. I noticed a lot of losses up here today. I was like, all right, well, our distribution that was related to just blocks and total points per game finally had a bad day. Yeah, there are some injuries here. Yeah, there's some injuries here. This game's still going on. But there are injuries here. There's some injuries here, kind of. So I get it, but still, I think we could do better. So let's do this. Let's run the macro because I've already set it up, and I'll show you how it works. So what the macro does, I created a bunch of different distributions, by the way. See this? See all this junk here? It's all junk, but whatever. We're trying it. So we're going to see if we can find some variables that are relevant by retesting today. Our testing cube is blank, which means we can go and we can run our macro. Here's how we do it. View, macro, full 500, run. Bam, it's started. It's going to test all of the combination strings, 1 to 100. And it's going to dump them into our testing cube. And then we're going to refresh another pivot, and we're going to be able to compare all the different combination strings. We're gonna be able to compare them all, and it'll be really cool. Still down 6 in minute 33. Come on, Minnesota, sink a 3 while we're running a macro. Sink a 3. Is there anything to do here? It did say Houston was going to win, but we're actually going to take a look at some other results here as we run this macro to see if we need to redo our distribution, which we obviously need to redo our distribution. I think, because it can't just be those two stats. Like it can't just be this thing's still going. Won't pop up because it's in the middle of the macro. Interesting. All right, so we'll just watch the lines. We'll watch Minnesota to come back. Well, tell me what's going on in this game, or do I have to log in? It doesn't matter if I log in, I can't bet. Like my computer still thinks it is in Bahrain or something. Like I don't know where my computer thinks it is. Golden State's got the ball. That's not good. Fumble it. Turn it over. Oh, foul on Golden State. Personal foul on team with the ball. Come on, Minnesota. Sink at 3. How's our macro doing? Still going. Oh, wait, no, it's done. I think it's done. Yep, it's done. All right. We'll go back to the basketball game in a second. So we just ran all $100. We were going with number 33, which is this one. We're just having a bad day, but there are some injuries on here. So you understand, watch out for the injury games. So now what happened is it created this entire testing cube of all the games for the season, and it ran all the different distributions. And here's what's called the compare pivot sheet. So now we're going to refresh this compare pivot sheet, and we're going to look and see what retroactively is doing the best for today and over the season and yesterday, which combination strings. That's what these are. So of all the combination strings, it looks like number 62 might be the winner. Number 62 wins 62% of its games. Good job. Over the entire season, that's pretty good. Now, there's a lot of, well, as I say the entire season, it's actually only this year, 2023. I only have games through January of 2023, I believe in here. Yeah, I started like, I didn't pull in the whole season because it's just getting too big. So it's just this season's games. So let's go back here. So, all right, that's kind of interesting. We were using 33. Where does 33 come in on the full season? Couldn't find 33. You couldn't find 33. Did I name it something? Oh, I might have named it something. I name these things sometimes, and they are showing up right here. So number 33 has a name, actually. It's best from 215. So where is that? That is not even near the top. Oh my goodness, it's way down here for the season. So I think that was a weird lucky run we had for a couple days. So number 62 is decent for the year. Well, what does number 62 do for today? Oh my goodness, a lot better. Okay, I think we found something. What is number 62? What are you, 62? You're this. You're a little possession, a little margin of victory, a lot of rebounds, a decent amount of blocks, and a lot of adjusted offensive rating. What a weird combination. Okay, well, that one did the best out of all of them. So that's the one we're going to go with tomorrow. And we're going to learn from that because we did spread out some more variables there. Now it's only 3 and 3, but these injuries being here, this is okay because this is saying watch out for the injuries that lost here. So this is actually a better looking day than you think. It had Brooklyn. How close was that Brooklyn Atlanta game? It was pretty close, wasn't it? The final margin of victory was only 2. So this game was actually close. So they covered. So this is actually pretty good. And you got a couple games still going on. This has the Nuggets and not the Clippers, though. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is looking like something better because it's matching the odds makers sort of a little bit more, but it has the Lakers who apparently beat the Mavs. Did that really happen? I think I got stuff right. I guess so. All right. So that's how we did some analysis real quick to figure out what combination string we should use after I added some new combination strings, and I will continue to chug away at this so that we get a better distribution of numbers, and we'll start to weed out the ones that we know stink. And the ones that stink, we can learn from, right? Like, for example, what's the worst one for the whole season? The worst one is number 14. What's number 14? By the way, I know what these middle ones are. These are one factor ones. I should change their name. So those are here. Yeah, see, these are the one factor where it's just one factor for the most part. So Yeah, one's adjusted defensive rating. The other's adjusted offensive rating. This is 3-pointers made. Let's see here. We can grab all this stuff. I think this works. Copy, paste, transpose. I think that worked. Except this one's actually a mix. Point per game. I want to say this one doesn't have a name. This is number 13. So what happens here, watch this. Watch us refresh our compare pivot and watch these have a name now. This disappears. And there's going to be a name there. So cool. This is such a big, yeah, it opens up because anytime a new name pops up, it wants to open it up. See number of wins. Like, yep, this is super cool. So now you see that, which is really good to know. I'll tell you why this is good to know. When certain ones that are not good distributions are all at the bottom overall, that means that, yeah, of course, you shouldn't be looking at just one variable. It makes sense that this doesn't work great, when it's just one variable. So, wow, it sucks that the best of 215, that one with the two variables is all the way down here. It still wins 53% of its games. That's kind of funny. But these actually don't even win half their games, just steals and possession. So fascinating, right? So what else was a good one? Number 7. What's number 7? Number 7 has a lot in number of wins and a lot in 3-pointers made and little in a lot of other places, but a lot of blocks, reasonable amount of rebounds and steals. And 7, I believe, is also emulated down here somewhere as well, because these are bigger numbers, and I shrunk the numbers down to try to get points, which are based off this percentage, the points to be more accurate. So it's probably emulated, and we've probably figured out by this. I bet you it's 30. I bet you it's 30. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, B8, right? It's connected. Yeah, exactly. So it's really the 31 that probably has a good result. So let's take a look at the one that's 30, not even 62. Although 62 is an interesting one to find. 30 moves the Mavericks in front of the Lakers. Look at that switch. Well, look at this. Look at this, right? It's crazy. I just flipped back to 30 for a second. Oh, sorry. I flipped back to 62 for a second. This one has the Lakers, but 30 is a more, normal one, you'd think, and it has the Mavericks. So it makes me think that 62 is on to something, because that's pretty cool right there to do that. It found stats that favored the Lakers, even though the Mavericks have somewhat of a new team. And those stats were they're showing up here. They were rebounds probably and adjusted offensive rating. Interesting things there. So anyway, we'll go with 62 tomorrow, but that's kind of what I wanted to show you about what's going on with NBA and kind of how you adjust distributions and what's happening in this game. Has Minnesota come back? They're only down by 3? No, they're down by 4. So it looks like they're not going to win, and I'm not going to have that huge payout, but I'm still making $36 after betting 100 total. And that's how you do it, betting both sides, is you anticipate lead changes, you anticipate line changes, and you can kind of see the game sometimes where you think it might happen. Like it's not going to happen in this game. Here's a game, Indonesian NBL, right? Here's a team that's up, that's plus 118. Well, is there a chance that they might get up even more and move this team to a negative line? Because they are up right now and they're still a positive line, you can assume that a lot of the money is on this team, which is why it's keeping this line low. So really, in theory, what you want is you want this team to get up enough so that this team goes to a positive line, that Dewa United goes to a positive line at some point. See, yeah, like you want them to get positive. So you want this to become like a 20-7 game, which puts them like plus 120. Then you want to bet them, because when you bet them, if they start to come back at all and look like they're going to win, this line is going to just go up dramatically, and you'll be able to get plus 200, plus 300 or something like that. And then if this team manages to win, that's how you get that big payout. But even if they don't win, you'll have this team already at a positive line and you'll still make some money. So it's not about making a fortune on every bet, because that's certainly not how it works. Usually you make a percentage like 15%, 30% or whatever on the bet, but it's guaranteed once you get the second bet in. And you're rooting for a crazy comeback, crazy ending, and we get paid a lot more. So here, this game, right? This game, the number 62 combination string has the Nuggets winning this game, but they are kind of a little more injured than the Clippers. So the money is going to be somewhat on the Nuggets in this game, which is why they're minus 178. So what do you want to have happen? You want to have the Clippers get out to a big lead, pushes the Nuggets to a positive line, and you can bet the Nuggets. Then you hope they come back, and then you bet the Clippers at an amazingly high line, and then you hope the Clippers come back and win the game in the long run. That's the way it goes the best for you is your favorite. You're allowed to bet your favorite at a positive line. Then they come back. You bet the opponent at a really huge positive line, and you hope that the opponent accidentally comes back and wins, because it's still sports and anything can happen. And this is pro NBA basketball. But even if they don't, you get whatever small percentage you locked in on the positive line on your favorite. So that's how you do it. And I mean, it doesn't win every game, because there are games that you never get a chance or your favorite never comes back. Of course it happens, but it's much more frequent that when you can make a bet and secure and fuse yourself a guaranteed profit at any time this team looks like they're going to come back to win, that happens a lot more often than the team actually coming back to win. So you give yourself more opportunities to fuse and lock in a profitable wager. All right, that's the update for the recap for Sunday. Will I be back on Monday? Yeah, there are sports. Yeah, I'll be back, and I'll probably do college basketball too, like everything else. All right, good luck, everybody. Mail your picks.